What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay Ideas, and this is a new series where I talk about my favorite beat tapes that I listened to in the past week. I want to try to commit a lot more time to listening to more music. As a producer, I think it's great to have outside influences other than yourself, and I really enjoy beat tapes, so I figured that I could try to commit to listen to more producers and gain influence and just kind of support the community better by doing this. So these are my favorite beat tapes that I listened to last week. It's not a conclusive list because I can't listen to everything, but I'm doing the best I can, and these are just my personal opinion. I'm not anybody important or anything, but I figured that I would just let you all know and give my recommendations of stuff that I enjoyed, and hopefully you enjoy it as well. First up, out of Detroit, we got NateOgDetroit with his 5-track EP, the NPC Studio Files. It's just straight up Midwest boom bap, really dope soul samples, gritty drums, big drums. It was just really dope. I really enjoy Detroit hip hop in general. I think it's super underrated, and this album is a good culmination of that sound, and I really enjoyed it. Standout tracks to me off of the NPC Studio Files are No Love Lost and The Underground Heat. Up next, we got a 6-track EP by Teedot Einsof called Release to Grow. This is kind of like a lo-fi tape, but it doesn't get caught up in the same type of traps that a lot of lo-fi tapes do. It's not real sleepy. The sample flips are really cool, really interesting. It sounds real dirty, but in a good way. The compression is really nice on there. Standout tracks for me were Take My Hand and Moral Compass Guides North. Up next, a 16-track tape by La Ciudad Cooperative called Union. This is again a lot of boom bap, like just New York East Coast style boom bap, or as La Ciudad Cooperative would say, True York, and I think that holds true. Sample flips were really tight, drums were really punchy, snappy. I just really enjoyed it. The whole album just flowed together really smooth. It was really nice. I really enjoyed this one. Standout tracks on this tape for me were For The and 1000 Eyes. Up next, a 9-track album from Paze Infinite called Sample Cell Research 2. This album is a lot more up-tempo than the rest of the albums on the list in a great way. There's a couple of house-inspired songs that were really tight. The sample flips are crazy. A lot more funk samples out of this tape. Bass lines are real funky. It's got a lot of those like Moog-like bass lines and real funky. Standout tracks to me are Last Chance to Go Back to 2001 and Better With You. Up next is a 20-track album by Bugseed and Alto called Across Beattape. The two producers join together and they go back and forth trading just haymakers, man. There's a lot of jazzy drums on here, dirty drum breaks. This whole album between the two producers really flows together really nicely. They did a really good job of sequencing this to where each producer stood out a lot, and their styles were similar, but they had their own individual styles. But the album flowed together really nicely, and you could tell that it was a real collaborative effort. Standout tracks for me were Bugseed's Circus Funk and Alto's Feel. Up next, we got Seveer, Shelfie Baps 2. That's Baps, Baps. You'll get that once you listen to it. It's a 22-track album. A lot of these beats were from Sev's beat battles that he participated in. And if I had to go up against Sev with a lot of these beats, it wouldn't be fun because he would just knock me out of the park. There's really dope chops. The drums are real swingy. It's another just Midwest soul flip boom bap tape. He's from Chicago. Chicago again is another great hip hop city. The low end on this tape really knocks. It's great to play in your car. Standout tracks for me are Bizarre Buzzard and Hella Clout. Up next is a 10-track album called Connections from 89s. It's a lo-fi tape, but again, like Teedot Einsof's tape, it doesn't get caught up in the usual traps that a lot of lo-fi tapes get into. The sample flips are really interesting. There's a lot of variations in between the songs. It's not just a loop over and over and over again. His use of filters on this tape are really tight. The drums are really snappy, really nice. He collaborated with a couple different producers on this, and those tracks with the features sound really nice. You could tell that it was a really good collaborative effort between each producer that was featured on his album. Standout tracks on Connections for me are Based and Drunk Again, featuring the Low Key Theory. Up next, we got DJ Just with a 10-track album called The Soul Tape. This album just reminded me of early Kanye production in the best way possible. It's a lot of pitched up samples. The drums are really swingy. There's a lot of use of a lot of syncopated shakers in there that just gives it that bounce. The drums are really big. It's just a really bright sounding tape. I really enjoyed this one. It just makes you feel good. Standout tracks on here for me are Inseparable and Won't Fall. Up next, we got Kev Brown with the 10-track album. I mean, what else can you say about Kev Brown? Kev Brown is a legend. The low end really knocks on this album, as you expect. Kev Brown's bass lines are crazy all the time, and this album is no different. J-Zone and J.K. Nautic were on drums on this album. I'm not sure which songs, but all the drums are knocking on this album, so whichever songs that they were on, they did a great job of it. I'm just not sure which ones it is, so shout out to them. Standout tracks on Kev Brown's album are Jammin' on the One and a theme song for The Optimistic. Finally, we got the Working Man beats with Antiquity. It's a 10-track album, and I love this album from start to finish. It's just a real bright, pleasant to listen to beat tape. It sounds like a sunny day feels like. I mean, it's just real refreshing and just nice to listen to. A lot of jazz samples. Standout tracks on Antiquity for me were High Five and Ha. So that's the list this week. Those are my favorite beat tapes that I listened to in this past week. Like I said, there's a lot of them that I missed. I can't listen to everything. I mean, I gotta make beats in the meantime too. So if I missed anything that you think I should hear, please link that to me. I listen to most of these on beattapecoop.com. If you've never been there before and you're a producer, you're missing out. Go over, support beattapecoop.com. It's a great resource for producers to get their music out there and be heard. Support all the producers on this list. Put them on your Spotify playlist. Add them to your Apple Music library. Listen to them, stream them. Buy their albums on Bandcamp, which is the biggest thing you can do to help support them. And just share them with different people that enjoy beat tapes and you think would enjoy these albums. So to wrap this up, I'm Jay Ideas. I appreciate you all taking the time to watch this. Like I said, if you have anything that you want me to listen to, please send it over. I'll take a listen, and I'll be back next week with another list of my favorites. So until next time, I'll catch you later.